This is the first part of the video for 53855 Avenida Juarez. This is to the right of the driveway. We were talking about cleaning it up and putting the degenerated, or DG, is it degenerated granite or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. So that needs to be done. The cleanup on the front is, of course, removal. You have these flexible area rubber things that need to be removed all throughout the front, and of course we had penciled in 5 to 10 plants, and of course rehabbing all of the irrigation. So also there is a section of wood fencing. There are 3 sections of wood fencing that need to be replaced. There's 1 in front and 2 in back, and then you also have this stucco wall here that is going to need to be painted. So we're going to be figuring all of this in, but this is the first part of the video. Of course, the front screen will need to be replaced. And the entire house will be painted, and any walls or holes in the stucco. Now our issue with the garage is the garage door is dented. We might be able to replace just the bottom section. We have to talk about that, but certainly the motor for the garage door needs to be replaced. So this is part of the, also that's a flag holder that needs to be replaced, or removed actually, and painted. Here's our backyard. We actually have, for starters, we have 2 sections of fencing. This section here and this section here that needs to be repaired. And here's your side yard with removal. There are 2 sliding doors that need to be repaired, not replaced, but repaired. Apparently the rollers. There's this one here that goes into the little office area, and then there's that one that goes to the master. So those need to be repaired. We had talked about removing the window coverings for both of those areas. In this one you have the hanging velour, whatever those things are called, and then you have like the plantation shutters down there. So removal of that. Now that the pool has drained, because it hasn't rained that much, we see really that the pool is in fine shape. What did you say needed to be done in here, Antonio?
Sandblasting.
Sandblasting. So we really just have to sandblast it and fill it.
Wash it.
And acid wash it. This back crack along the back wall, we're just going to fill it and paint it. So there's no repair on that. There's a lot of junk that needs to be removed and cleaned up. This that we're walking in right now is kind of a little planter, so we need to decide if we want to put plants in this area. And then here, there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done here along the side. So this is the side of the house. And this is an old compressor that needs to be removed as well. The compressor that works is there. And of course there's the pool equipment that probably needs to be replaced, correct? Did we get a price on that?
Yes.
We'll have a price on that. But there's a lot of removal and kind of demo, so to speak, out here. You know, removal of this fence, whatever the hell. But this will be all figured in. Just need to get your feedback on this. So here's the garage. My main concern about the garage was that it's more costly in terms of everything. You can see that there's a lot that needs to be removed here. You know, including these things on the ceiling fan. There's a lot of personal property in here, including the cabinets and whatnot. So you're going to have to decide about that. But additionally, this garage door must be replaced. It cannot be repaired. You can see that it's cracked there, and of course the motor doesn't work. So this is an expense. Additionally, the hot water heater is leaking, as you can see, and needs to be replaced. We had not counted on that, and obviously that needs to be taken off and cleaned up. But we do have the washer and dryer here. And again, that door needs to be replaced because it's not a fire door, and it's not legal, so it has to be a solid core fire door. But the garage has been a concern of mine, on top of the fact that we have quite a bit of damage to the drywall, and that needs to be patched and repaired. So This is going to be more than anticipated. I just wanted. The only thing I can see in this room, this is the great room area, and it's in fine shape. The only thing really that needs to be done is these little window treatments up here need to be removed, and of course just painted, patched and painted. The fireplace is in excellent shape. The flooring is in excellent shape, and really it's just going to be making sure that the windows are cleaned and working well, and any screens to be replaced. But this has almost no work outside of course, paint, patch, and fire. Oh, except for this thing needs to be removed and possibly replaced. So that's a possibility, which I need to write that down. So here we are walking now into the dining area. Same thing. You have to decide if you want to keep this fixture. This window treatment needs to be removed. New screen on that window. But otherwise, everything is in very good shape. And then we get to the kitchen, and we know what we have going in the kitchen. Antonio and I have found lots of extra tile on the side of the house as well as in the garage in order to patch any areas if you wanted to change this around. But you can see that almost all of the personal property was left in this house. So we are going to have a price for complete demo, because you have to pull out these cabinets and whatnot too. I mean, everything's been left. It's crazy. And then over here, we talked about installing can lights. There is your skylight. And we talked about removing these fluorescents and putting in all can lights. That's going to be priced out. Of course, new sink possibly, although that sink looks to be in pretty good shape. Now here's what we were talking about. Here's the office. And the office is what you go through in order to get to the backyard. So this can be marketed and really adds value to this house. And it has a little nook here. But more than anything, it needs to be just patched and painted. And possibly, if you want to replace that or just clean it up, possibly remove it. Don't know if you want to remove the window coverings. They don't have to be, but we need to be advised on that. But this door needs to be repaired, and we need a new screen. So this is the hallway leading back, and we are having discussion about these doors. Chris had mentioned wanting to replace all doors, but quite honestly, these doors are all in excellent shape and don't really need to be replaced. The only door that needs to be replaced is here in bedroom number 2, because the door jamb is ruined, and so that entire door needs to be replaced. But it's very easy to just disassemble and paint all these doors. Now this is our issue with the secondary bathroom. So we were just discussing this little closet here and this little lip, this little box section that blocks out the vanity. And so what Antonio was telling me is that he has to remove all this wallpaper and remove this whole tile in order to replace the vanity, and he's going to have to retexture this area anyway. So it really does make sense to remove this whole closet because it's just unnecessary. There, right behind where I'm standing now, there's a whole nother closet, so it would open it up nicely. But Antonio, you can see that the floor is in good shape. The toilet, did we need to replace the toilet? Or is the toilet decent? But our
the old one, yes.
Put in a new toilet. So we do need a new toilet, but one of the things Antonio mentioned about the shower is indeed cleaning it up and keeping the shower tile because it's decent, but getting rid of this door. And it might make a more financial sense to do that and then put the money here by replacing the vanity. So I needed some direction on that. Also, this bedroom here is very simple. We can rehang these doors, although the gold is very dated, but it is a nice ceiling fan. Otherwise, it's just patch and paint and recarpet, but we do need to be advised on these doors because they need to be rehung. You can again see that the screens are in bad shape and all need to be repaired, or excuse me, replaced, but really the bedrooms are quite simple. So we do need to know about these bathrooms and about this vanity section that we discussed. Okay, this is something else. This is bedroom number 2, and there is this lip area up here. You can see obviously that that ceiling fan needs to be replaced. But this lip area is going to need to be removed and of course retextured. There's some pretty big holes in the walls here, and this is the door jamb that is ruined. But there is a nice walk-in closet. It looks like this door is going to need to either be repaired or replaced. Actually, it can just be painted, so we're fine on that. But we need to be advised about this little lip and removing it. And again, I'd like to have a conversation about these window coverings. Okay, here's the master bedroom, last room. Obviously, it's going to be texture, new carpet, new paint. All of this will need to be, obviously, demoed, not demoed, but all of the personal items will be removed, and it's just going to be painting. Would you like that light replaced? I know that these fluorescent lights are horrible. And again, we wanted to have another conversation about these plantation shutters, which are beautiful. They can easily be painted, and people do love them. And again, this door leading out to the back is going to need to be repaired, and the screen will need to be replaced. But Antonio had mentioned the same thing about this bathroom, that really if you replace the door and really just clean up the tile, which you can do, you can really leave this tile unless you don't want to, which is fine. But in the interest of saving money, you can clean it up. This is an area that's going to need to be talked about, or just not exactly sure. Replace the toilet, and I believe you talked about completely removing these cabinets and possibly this little vanity area and just replacing this vanity area. Now the tile on the floor, I think, Antonio, did you find any of this extra tile in the back, this bathroom?
No, but they can look at it.
Oh, this is easy, yes. Anyway, you can either replace it, you can match it. There's enough tile to match it. In the garage and in the side yard, you can have the same tile as in the rest of the house. But again, you have another skylight here. This is the master bath. So we do need to be advised, and when you review this video along with my list, we can go over it. But of course, we're going to be replacing all of these fixtures, and we want slab granite in here with the dual basins and a whole new vanity structure. I don't know if once we take this out, if it'll make it look empty or what. It might just be a place that somebody could put a nice big cabinet of some type. So anyway, and then here's the toilet area. One of those frosted windows. They really have just left everything.